So I just finished making a video about the protests that Mercedes was lodging, and right after I finished that, I check on Twitter, and I see that the protests have all been denied. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video anyways, first of all detailing what the protests were, and yeah, basically that's what this video is going to be. So, Mercedes had lodged two protests of one of Max Verstappen and one of just the FIA. The first one, the one of Max Verstappen, the one that was denied first, and was kind of the most baseless. Mercedes said that basically Max was overtaking Lewis under the safety car, which was not exactly right. He'd gotten alongside him, but he wasn't really overtaking him. And really, he was getting alongside of him so that if Hamilton just randomly decided to gun it, that he would be at least close enough to have an advantage. Was it right, per se? Not exactly. He probably shouldn't have done that, but I don't think it's the end of the world that he did. I think it's understandable that he would have done that, and I don't think there's any rules he's breaking. I think it's just kind of a stupid, more of a, just competition thing. I think it is what it is. I'd probably have done the same thing. The second thing I want to talk about that is more important and had much more of a chance of being actually, upheld was Mercedes protesting what happened with the lapped cars under the safety car on the final lap. So, what Mercedes had claimed was that the 5 lap cars that passed the safety car on lap 57, basically either that A, shouldn't have happened, or B, should have meant an extra lap was taken. And or C, they should have let the rest of the lap cars around. So, the actual rules in this circumstance are that basically either everyone overtakes the safety car or no one does. So, or all the lap cars either do or don't. So, what happened was the front 5 lap cars in between Hamilton and Verstappen didn't, and everyone else, between Hamilton and Verstappen did, and everyone else didn't behind Verstappen. It was against the rules and procedures, but that's a Masi problem. That's quite frankly a problem entirely on Michael Masi. He was the one that decided that, and it's up to him to know the rules, and clearly he didn't. So, yeah, that's something that I'm sure F1 will be trying to deal with in the next however long until the season starts up again, because clearly Michael Masi is not very good at his job. There's been seemingly quite a bit of weird stewarding controversies, and this is just another one to end out the season, because how could you possibly not finish out the season with a stewarding controversy? I think Michael Masi probably should be fired at this point. You need someone that is, competent and generally correct on things. It seems like Masi has more often than not made weird decisions and, just in general done a bunch of questionable stuff with all types of things. So yeah, I think that's more on Michael Masi, and you're not going to overturn the results of a championship with that, especially arguing about who passed the safety car and who didn't, and why either everyone or no one should have, and all that. You're not going to get Verstappen's world championship turned over with that. What they could have gotten it overturned with was arguing that they should have done an extra lap after that, which is another part of that rule, which is basically that if everyone overtakes the safety car, you have to do an extra lap around after that. So they overtook them at the end of the second straightaway, so that would have meant, that was on lap 57, so that would have meant that supposedly they should have gone around and had the safety car still out for lap 58, and they would have finished under safety car, which would have been a really underwhelming end, but is kind of correct from what I've understood from the rules, but that ended up getting denied for some reason, which, that's about the one thing I actually agree with Mercedes on. Well, I guess I agree with them on the who did and didn't pass the safety car, but I don't think you could have gotten anything out of that. I do agree that they could have gotten something out of arguing they should have done an extra lap under the safety car, because I think that, frankly, I mean, that's the rules. They probably should have done that, but I understand the FIA wanting to just turn down all the stuff and have the World Championship be what happened on track. Because I think even if they didn't let anyone pass the safety car, which is probably what they should have done in retrospect, I think Verstappen probably would have won anyways. Because, first of all, those 5 lap cars would have gotten out of the way immediately because blue flags. And that would have just been a gap Verstappen had to make up. They probably would have closed up quite a bit to each other so that they could make more room for Max to pass. And I think, considering Max was on 50 lap older softs compared to Lewis being on hards, I think Max would have caught him at like the end of the second straightaway or something. Got him. You just can't make an argument on that, because he could have not, and I don't know. And I think the FIA just wanted to be done, and that's what they've done. So that means that everything's cleared up, and barring something weird, Max Verstappen is the 2021 world champion. So congratulations to Max, and congratulations to everyone for surviving this terrible, weird, not exactly terrible, but really weird season. But for the first time in quite a long time, we have had a very, very exciting championship race, and I'm thankful for that. So, that has been the 2021 championship battle as for Abu Dhabi. I've got 2 more videos planned now, the first video of which is just talking about the midfield battle for Abu Dhabi. I generally wouldn't talk about that, but I'm going to talk about it for this race in particular because everything was focused on the front 2, and I think the midfield had quite a interesting bit as well. Since obviously they still have points battles going on, they were obviously still racing. So I think there was quite an interesting battle in the midfield that I think deserves its own video to be talked about. So I'll have that coming out sometime later this week. And then sometime much later on, I'll go through and review all the races and do a little bit on each race. And I have more of a overall championship year in review type thing. And I'll be talking about some off-season stuff. So, yeah, that has been protests, and everything has been denied. So, that's the FIA having issues that it needs to sort out. But, yeah, that's about all I have. So, hello, I'm back again. Quick little note. Mercedes has said they're taking it to the International Court of Appeals now, so it's not over yet. But yeah, of course it has to end this way. So, we will have something to talk about in the coming weeks, but my guess is nothing's going to come of it. But I'll tell you what, wasn't it all helped by this?
You need to reinstate the lap before. That's not right.
Toto?
Yes.
It's called a motor race, okay?
Sorry?
We went to car racing.